Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 1, printed in Part B of House Report number 113-187, offered by Mr. Scalise of Louisiana.
Pursuant to House Resolution 322, the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise, and a member opposed shall each control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring this amendment forward on the REINS Act to simply prohibit the Obama administration from imposing a carbon tax on the United States. If they wanted to impose that kind of tax, they could not do it through regulation. And of course, we've heard the Obama administration, from President Obama to his EPA administrator and others, talking about various forms of taxes on energy that they want to impose, whether it's a carbon tax, whether it's a cap-and-trade type scheme. They've continued to throw out that opportunity to impose that kind of radical regulation by themselves without action from Congress. And clearly, as we talk about the REINS Act and we talk about any kind of regulation having over $100 million impact on our economy, we want to make it very clear that any attempt to impose a carbon tax would fall under that same definition of major rule, where they could not do it by regulation. And so if you look at what's been studied on this issue, because again, this idea of a carbon tax has been floating around for a while by the Obama administration. In fact, the National Association of Manufacturers, Mr. Chairman, did a study, and it's titled "The Economic Outcomes of a U.S. Carbon Tax." And let me tell you, it's not pretty, some of the things that they talk about in this study. If the Obama administration had their way and imposed a tax on carbon, for example, manufacturing output in energy-intensive sectors could drop by as much as 15%. We're talking real job losses that would come to this country. What would it do to families in terms of energy costs? How would it affect them? Well, then in the same study, they say in the first year of a carbon tax, just in the first year, we would see an increase in the cost of natural gas by more than 40%. And the price of gasoline at the pump would go up by 20 cents a gallon, just in the first year of a carbon tax. It would have devastating impacts on our economy. Clearly, if you look at what President Obama and his administration officials are doing and saying, they want to keep the door open to impose a carbon tax through regulation. This amendment says absolutely not. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
So reserves the balance.